Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before you decide she is flirting, pause. That tight feeling in your chest, the hope mixed with doubt, that is where men get misled. One smile can rewrite your entire week. One soft tone can make you imagine a future that does not exist. And the truth I'm about to tell you will unsettle you because it challenges what you want to believe. If you value clarity, confidence, and emotional self-respect, take 1 second to like this video and subscribe. It tells the algorithm and yourself that you are ready to stop guessing and start seeing clearly. I am speaking to you as a psychologist, but also as a woman who understands how confusing this moment feels from your side. Men are taught to look for signals, but rarely taught how context changes meaning. Flirting is not a checklist. Kindness is not an invitation, and attraction does not announce itself. The danger is not misreading her. The danger is building emotional investment on ambiguity. Here is the first truth most men never hear. Women are socially trained to be warm, responsive, and emotionally present even when there is no romantic intent. Eye contact, laughter, curiosity, and even gentle teasing can exist without desire. When you mistake emotional openness for attraction, you give away power you have not earned back yet. You start performing, you start overthinking, and she feels the shift before you do. Notice how your body reacts around her. If you feel calm, grounded, and steady, you are observing. If you feel anxious, energized, and mentally rehearsing conversations, you are projecting. Flirting creates mutual ease. Projection creates inner noise. This distinction matters more than any signal she sends. Another uncomfortable truth. If you are unsure, it usually means she has not made herself clear. Women who are genuinely interested tend to reduce ambiguity over time, not increase it. They create opportunities, not confusion. They lean in consistently, not selectively. Mixed signals are rarely accidental. They are often a boundary expressed softly. Your job is not to decode her. Your job is to regulate yourself. Curiosity without attachment keeps you attractive. Certainty without evidence makes you needy. And neediness is not caused by desire. It is caused by fear of loss before anything real exists. Sit with that, because once you see the difference, you stop chasing warmth and start recognizing intention. Most men ask the wrong question. You ask, is she flirting with me? When the more revealing question is, how does she behave when she doesn't need anything from me? Attraction shows up when there is no audience to impress and no benefit to gain. Watch patterns, not moments. A woman who is simply being nice is consistent with everyone. Her warmth does not sharpen when you enter the room. Her curiosity does not deepen when the conversation turns personal. Her availability does not expand just for you. But when interest is present, something subtle changes. Time stretches, attention narrows. You feel less like an option and more like a priority, even in small ways. Here is where men often sabotage themselves. You begin to test her. You escalate too early. You fish for reassurance. You make jokes that reveal insecurity disguised as confidence. And suddenly the dynamic shifts, not because she lost interest, but because she sensed pressure where there was none before. Desire is fragile when it feels watched. Understand this clearly. Flirting is not intensity. It is ease with a directional pull. A woman who is flirting gives you space to step forward without fear. A woman who is just being nice keeps the interaction emotionally safe, but romantically neutral. She enjoys you, but she does not invest in moving things forward. Pay attention to initiation. Does she reach out without a reason? Does she remember small details about you and bring them up later? Does she create excuses to continue the interaction rather than politely ending it? These are behaviors driven by internal motivation, not social politeness. Another truth that may sting. Sometimes she enjoys the attention more than the person. This does not make her manipulative, it makes her human. Attention can feel validating, especially when it is calm and respectful. But validation is not attraction. If you feel like you are auditioning, you already have your answer. Your power is not in figuring her out. Your power is in slowing down your emotional pace. When you stop rushing meaning onto her behavior, you give her room to reveal herself honestly. And if she does not step into that space, you lose nothing. You gain clarity. Men who are attractive are not the ones who guess correctly. They are the ones who remain steady whether the answer is yes or no. When you stop fearing rejection, friendliness stops feeling like a trap. Notice how your energy changes when you release the need to label her behavior. Calmness is attractive, certainty is attractive, and self-respect makes ambiguity visible instead of painful. Here's a truth most men never hear. Your desire alone does not create attraction. Flirting is not about how much you want her. It's about how much you control your own inner world while she is near. If you are anxious, overly eager, or constantly seeking clues, you're already on the wrong side of the dynamic. Desire without composure is vulnerability disguised as passion, and women sense it instantly. You must learn to separate your feelings from her actions. Imagine a scale. On one side, your emotions. On the other, her behaviors. If your side tips before you have real evidence, you are reacting to imagination, not reality. This is why men convince themselves a smile, a laugh, or a compliment is flirting. They are overinvested in a projection, not the interaction. Another layer few men understand: context is everything. A woman's tone, body language, and attention fluctuate depending on her environment, her mood, and her social pressures. A playful comment in a noisy bar may mean nothing, but the same behavior in private, consistent moments over weeks carries weight. Your job is to observe the patterns over time, not the sparks of a single night. And here is the subtle psychological shift. Attraction requires reciprocity. If she flirts, she feels the energy return. If she is just being nice, she notices your investment but does not return it consistently. This difference is often invisible to men because they read signals like text messages. They see words and gestures but ignore emotional reciprocity. Your attention is your currency. When you give it to someone who only offers niceness, you dilute your value. When you give it to someone who matches it with interest, you increase your power exponentially. This is not manipulation, it's self-preservation. You learn to value your attention as highly as your presence. Now, let's confront a hard truth. You will feel rejected before you understand the signals. That discomfort is necessary. It teaches you the difference between warmth and desire. Don't run from it. Don't rationalize it. Observe it, accept it, and let it guide your understanding of her true intentions. Finally, remember this: women do not have to signal interest in the ways you expect. Silence, consistency, or even small acts of attention can carry more weight than overt flirting. The most powerful thing you can do is slow down, regulate your emotions, and let reality, not hope or fear, reveal the truth. Desire is not evidence. Composure is. Let me tell you something most men never admit out loud. Confusion is a tool, not an accident. When you are unsure if she's flirting or just being nice, your mind fills the gaps with stories. You imagine possibilities. You rehearse conversations. You build a future out of shadows. And this is exactly where clarity dies. The first key is to notice her energy, not her words. Words are cheap, easily given, and often shaped by politeness. Energy, however, is revealing. Does she lean in when you speak? Does she mirror your body language unconsciously? Does her attention sharpen when you share personal details? Small signs repeated consistently are far more reliable than any compliment or laugh. Here's another truth that hits hard. Attraction is earned, not assumed. You cannot demand it, predict it, or manufacture it. You can only create the conditions where it emerges naturally. And those conditions begin with your own emotional state, your calm, grounded, unshakable presence. Notice how often men mistake nervous energy for passion, a racing heart, sweaty palms, constant mental replay. These are not signs she's interested. They are signs that you've invested before clarity. Flirting does not make your stomach churn with anxiety. It makes you feel engaged, playful, and in control. Desire should feel light, not like a trap closing around you. Observe how she interacts when there is nothing to gain. This is the ultimate litmus test. If she initiates conversation, remembers details, teases you subtly, or creates moments where you share experiences, she is giving you glimpses of interest. If she is warm but neutral, consistent with everyone, or quick to disengage when attention is not reciprocated, she is being nice. Period. Another hard reality. Many men chase patterns that don't exist. They analyze every smile, every laugh, every casual touch as if they were hieroglyphics. Meanwhile, the truth is in the rhythm, the consistency, the emotional investment over time. Flirting is not a moment. It's a pattern. Niceness is constant, predictable, and rarely directional. Here's where self-mastery comes in. Your attention is your most valuable resource. When you invest it in ambiguity, you dilute your energy, confuse yourself, and create neediness. When you invest it where interest is real, you amplify attraction naturally. Recognize that every moment spent guessing is a moment lost in your own power. Now, let's confront the fear that drives overthinking: rejection. Most men avoid clarity because they fear losing what might exist. The paradox is this: losing something that was never yours is liberation, not pain. When you accept that the outcome is uncertain, you stop chasing validation and start seeing signals clearly. Finally, remember this: women are not puzzles to solve. They are humans expressing intention in subtle ways. If you watch carefully, regulate your own responses, and observe patterns instead of moments, the answer becomes obvious. You stop hoping, stop imagining, and start seeing. And when clarity arrives, you approach it not from desperation, but from power. Here is a truth most men resist. The moment you stop needing her attention is the moment she becomes most aware of it. Desire alone does not create attraction. Calm, grounded presence does. When you detach from outcomes, you reclaim power. And in that space, signals reveal themselves with crystal clarity. Notice how you feel around her. If you are jittery, overanalyzing, or constantly scanning for hints, you are giving away authority over your own emotions. If you are relaxed, playful, and present, you are the one setting the tone. Attraction is a reflection, not a pursuit. Women respond to stability more than effort. Another subtle reality: initiation matters more than reaction. If she reaches out consistently, makes excuses to engage, or creates private moments for connection, she is sending intentional signals. If her engagement is sporadic, situational, or polite without follow-through, she is being kind, not flirtatious. Context is everything. Observe, do not interpret. Here's where men get trapped. They confuse intensity with interest. A woman can laugh loudly, tease playfully, or look directly into your eyes without attraction. Why? Because warmth and attention are social currencies. They make interactions enjoyable but do not obligate desire. Your job is to differentiate between social energy and romantic energy, and that requires detachment. Let's confront another uncomfortable truth. Most men read signals through hope, not evidence. They want her to like them, so they see patterns that are not there. This creates a loop of projection and disappointment. The stronger your hope, the murkier the signal. The calmer your presence, the sharper your clarity. Observation is not passive, it is powerful. Track consistency, reciprocity, and emotional investment. Flirting is intentional, repeated, and directional. Niceness is fleeting, polite, and evenly distributed. Your power lies in noticing this difference without needing it to conform to your hopes. Another reality you must embrace: your emotional response is your compass. Anxiety, overthinking, and projection are warning signs that you are reading from imagination, not evidence. Calm curiosity and steady attention are indicators that you are observing reality. Flirting is energy. Niceness is social currency. Don't confuse the two. Here is a psychological secret few men understand. The more you chase certainty, the less attractive you become. Women respond to men who regulate themselves, not to men who chase signals. The less you need validation, the more you notice real interest. Desire is magnetic when it is paired with composure. Neediness is repelling when it is paired with hope. Finally, the ultimate test. If she consistently initiates, invests emotionally, and creates space for connection without pressure, she is flirting. If she is warm, engaged, and polite without directional intent, she is simply being nice. This is not complicated. It is pattern recognition guided by emotional intelligence. The most powerful thing you can do now is step back and observe without attachment. Let the signals unfold naturally. Protect your attention, maintain your presence, and do not give away your emotional power before clarity arrives. This is how men transform uncertainty into insight. Remember, attraction is revealed in subtle, repeated patterns. Niceness is surface-level warmth. Your awareness, self-regulation, and patience are what separate those who get caught in ambiguity from those who see the truth. Master this, and you will never again be confused by her actions. You will see exactly what is there and nothing more. This is not just advice. It is a roadmap, a blueprint to reclaim your clarity, your confidence, and your emotional power. Watch carefully, observe patterns, regulate your inner world, and the truth will always reveal itself.